Gentlemen, week 11 is in the books. We are another week closer to the playoffs, and while that is exciting, it's also means it's getting close to over. But it's not over yet. We still got some weeks left, and before we get to that, obviously we need to get to week 11 power rankings, and that's what we're gonna do this week. So, as you probably saw from the title of this video, today's a bit of a what if. Commish and I were talking, we were chatting through, we were looking at the chat, and so many close matchups. Feels like every week. In fact, it is every week. Let me just take a look at my notes here. We have had 23 matchups decided by less than 10 points over the course of our season. It's a little over 2 a week on average. We had a week of 4 matchups decided by 10 points or less. There also was a couple, honestly, under 11. But I took 10, call that kind of a one possession game. And today's what if and what power rankings are what if every single one of those matchups had gone the other way? What if that 2-point loss of yours was actually a win? What if that 4-point win for you was actually a loss? And what would that do? What would that do to the standings? If you look at the current real standings, we have a few people already eliminated. We have someone who's already clinched a first round bye. And then we got a really tight group in the middle. But what if? So here's what if. Again, 10-point difference swinging the other way. This is what it would have looked like. So, John and Rory, I'm really sorry, but you're still eliminated. John did pick up a win, though, however, in this what-if analysis, and Rory actually got two wins in this what-if analysis. You can see the rest of the numbers there. And if you're thinking, Mark just gave himself first place again, no, I did not. Although, arguably, rightfully, I should have taken first place. Based on these standings. But no, that is not how we are going to decide the rankings this week. These rankings, they will be based on the difference between your actual score or your actual wins and your what-if wins. So, without further ado, this will be the ranking. Starting from the bottom, we have someone, if you weren't paying attention quite quickly enough, who was -4 wins. -4 in comparison to their real ranking. Now, you might be asking yourself, who has had a lot of really close wins, specifically at the start of the year? Someone was just squeaking them out. Well, that person is Ross. You will notice Ross's picture at his request was updated. Ross, you probably shouldn't have asked me to update your picture based on whatever that look was. But no parameters were given. You just asked that I get rid of a picture that was taken without your consent. And based on the fact that I think this is a selfie of some sort, I'm going to say this was taken very much with your consent. In fact, you took it. So Ross, welcome to the bottom of the power rankings, my friend. You would have lost 4 wins in this model had you lost those close ones, those 10-pointers. Moving on. We have Dave. And Dave, you would have lost 2 wins this way. It would have been close. You are tied with -2 with our commissioner, Matty Buckets, who comes in 10th. Also -2. Tiebreaker was given to Matt based on the fact that in this what-if reality, Matt wins the head-to-head. So while both of you go 5 and 6, and both of you are -2, Matt wins the head-to-head matchup in the what-if alternative universe here. Moving along, no longer at -2, but -1. We have Colin. Colin is currently 7 and 4. However, he would be 6 and 5 in this what if reality. So he loses a spot there. Our next guy is Nathan. Nathan actually stays even. Whatever luck he would have lost in some games, he would have gained it in others. Close wins become losses. Close losses become wins for Nathan. And he stays even. 6-5. Turns out he is right where he should be, regardless of what universe we're talking about here. Congratulations to John. John, you are +1. You would have got your first win. However, that still alternative record puts you at 1-10. And so that's why you were the bottom of the +1s. And there are a lot of +1s, and they were determined based on overall record in the alternative reality, and then, if necessary, head-to-heads. And I will get to that. So on that note, next we have Rory. Rory, obviously, you are 2-9 in the alternative reality, but you are +1, slightly ahead of John, and right there in the middle of the table at 6th place. Another +1. We wondered what might have happened had injuries not happened to Chris. Well, in this version of things, slightly better. Still definitely in the hunt for the playoffs. He's 5-6, but probably still not enough to cut it. But you never know. Still a what-if reality. A +1, but up to 7-4 in his alternative record. However, Ryan just stays off the podium because Leighton is +1, and this last week, week 11, which is part of kind of what came up from this video, for those of us who watched it, CeeDee Lamb had essentially a walk-in touchdown, forgot how to catch, forgot how to play wide receiver, essentially, and that would have probably won late in the week. Well, in this alternative reality, Leighton, CeeDee Lamb does catch that ball. He does go into the end zone. And you win the head-to-head against Ryan, and that puts you into the bronze medal spot in this week's power rankings. I am the final spot of the +1s. 8-3 record in this alternative reality. Just those little things, those little differences, I guess, that go my way. Put me at 8-3. And the top of the alternative standings, but not the top of the power rankings for week 11, because that spot is reserved for Pierce. Pierce goes +2, sees a big turnaround for Vladimir Tutin with those close wins, close losses being flip-flopped. In this alternative, Pierce, you would have been right there. You would have been 7-4. Again, +2, and yeah, right up at the top of the leaderboard. What's interesting is in this alternative reality, 10 teams are still alive for playoffs. Only Rory and John are eliminated. No one has clinched a bye yet. No one has clinched the playoffs even yet, at least according to ChatGPT when I plugged in our alternative standings. That's right, even me at 8-3 here. Still doesn't get me locked in yet. So who knows? Who knows what could have happened? But this isn't the world that we live in, and the what-if reality of those 10-point losses. We have talked about the parity in our league, and turns out it would have been close either way. For about 10 of the teams anyway. Well, have a good one, boys. All the best, and hope you enjoyed. Cheers.